Hi, this video is an introduction to Approvl, which is an app for music producers to get feedback on their productions. And this is just an example of a project, a song and a mix that's already been loaded into the app. Basically, a producer will be allowed to create projects, and on the projects you can edit the project, rename, and then add songs. Once you add a song, you can then basically add mixes to the song and import the mix to the song. And then obviously when you've uploaded your song or your mix, you can actually play it and listen to it within Approvl. And obviously as this runs on iPad, Mac, or iPhone, if the approver is on a studio system, for example, they can listen back through their studio setup, or they can just listen through their headphones or their devices, whatever makes sense at the time. But the point is then that the approver can actually listen to the mix and give comments and feedback to the producer. So I've got the producer view right now, and what the producer would do is first of all go into the project and manage approvers. And the approvers page, I've got myself loaded there. The approvers page allows the approver to be invited. You enter the name and the email address, and then an email will go out to the approver with both instructions as to how to download the app or to access the mixes through the web, through a simple web interface. If you want to, if you have a list of half a dozen approvers or however many approvers are on that project, you might also want to send them an email as a producer to say, hey, you know, I've got a new mix or I've got a new song, it's finished, take a listen. So again, once you've got your list of approvers, you can email them all through the email approvers button and get that done. So basically looking at the mix, you can take the timeline to wherever you want to drop your comment. So let's say right there you wanted to drop a comment. You would go to the inspector, which is on the right here, and then you would basically take a view here as to who's approving the project, who's involved with it. So I can see I've got test producer and myself associated with the project. And I can then just click the plus button here to drop a new comment. And I can do voice-based comments as well. So if I want to just leave a voicemail associated with the comment, I can do that at this stage. So I could say, nice guitar part, but a bit loud. And add that comment there. And then when the producer gets it, he'll see it exactly in the timeline and therefore can see all the comments at the different stages of the timeline. If you wanted to say this whole section, for example, was something you wanted to comment on, you can drag the song to that place, hold down on the Mac the command button, or do a long press on the iPad on the timeline, and then you can basically say, hey, this whole section has a comment. And you can say nice brass part or whatever it is you want to actually comment. And then you've basically got all of these comments associated with the song, and the producer can see it as they want. You can also edit the size of the timeline if you want to. You can also edit the size of the waveforms as you wish with these labels here. But what you can basically see on the inspector then is all the comments that people have made, and basically allow you to understand what's going on with this particular project. If you want to see it with fresh eyes, you can turn off the comments, and that will allow you to just to look at the waveform and make your own view as to what's going on with the project. But basically then the producer can go back into managing the approvers or see the approval status, and the approval status will show you who's associated with it and have they approved it yet. If the approval has not been shared yet, it'll be showing as not shared, but if it is approved, you can actually see it. One other thing about approvers, which is worth noting, is that if you go into manage approvers here, you can actually right-click on an approver, and you can set them as a key approver. So let's say you have a band, but the lead singer is the head honcho and the person who really calls the shots. You can make that the key approver, and that person can actually override everybody else and approve the mix. But otherwise, the person who fundamentally has the call as to whether a mix is finished is the producer, having got feedback from the members of the team. So that's a quick overview of Approvl. If you have any questions, please email me at support@studioguru.net, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks so much.